I'm behind the wheel again. I am driving to do a living room concert in Ohio, and wanted to talk to you about stretching our limits, expanding out of our comfort zones, and why that is important, not just for our emotional and spiritual well-being, but also our physical well-being. Every time as I leave during Matthew's illness, my husband's illness, I feel this, well, and even earlier, when my kids were little, I would feel this physically in my stomach. I would feel a little bit of nausea, a little bit of anxiety. And as I'm, obviously as I'm leaving, I'm working through it. But it's normal. Every time we are getting out of our comfort zones, every time we are, that's one thing about change, any kind of change of, in this case, going on a trip, leaving your kids behind. Maybe it's a career change. Maybe it's a little change like talking to a stranger that maybe you disagree with. We feel this unease. I want to know, where does it feel in your body? But as we work through it and we get out of that comfort zone, we find new things, we find new perspectives, our world opens up, just like taking a trip. This week, Matthew and I were talking about singing and breathing. The doctor said that cancer hates oxygen. And as doctor was saying that, I was thinking, so many of us, we sit. We have a sedentary lifestyle. We don't, we don't go out and really get our heart rate so up that we have to take those really deep breaths. We don't know how to deep breathe. Most of people breathe from here, not from right there, where when we really take that deep breath, we put oxygen in every single cell of our bodies. Our lifestyles don't require us to take those deep breaths. And then, when I was little, we used to sing. We used to have these parties that we would just sing, and not just sing like pretty. We would sing so loud and so just passionate, with so much energy. We would dance. I remember my mom, and I remember women dancing to a point where they couldn't breathe. Okay, so there is a correlation that I want to share with you here. Okay, when we deep breathe, we are supported, right? And then as we breathe deep, then we pull the air from the corners of our being, and then we push it out through our vocal cords when we sing. This is why singing is so beneficial for our health. We push it, and then we pull the emotions. We pull all those remnants of whatever, anger, grief, all these emotions that are stuck there. We pull them out, and they flow through our vocal cords, and they come out. Oh, try it. Sing in the car. Nobody can hear you. It's outside of your comfort zone. You can, well, it's still a comfort zone, but you can push the limits a little bit. The only problem with singing in a car is that you can't really breathe. Even I have a hard time, because you really need to be open and standing tall and just then really deep, breathe deep. I say deep breathe. Car is a good way to just get rid of your inhibitions and just let that, whatever you have inside, go. So you might say, but why would I have to push myself out of my comfort zone? I am comfortable here. I'm safe. It feels good. And I'm just going to go back to that doctor that said, you need to expand your lungs and get oxygen into every part of your body. And so I think it's the same with our life, with expanding our comfort zones. If we stay in that safe zone, we're not reaching and living the life to its fullest, the way we are created to live. And we need to grow, we need to expand as people, as humans, as souls, because that's the only way to grow in love, in faith, in compassion, in forgiveness, all those things that we're called to do. So, there you go. So we just did a living room concert, and This lady sang so good.
Aw,
What is one thing that you came away with tonight?
joy in my heart
Oh,
because I know how loved I am. I am still so blessed to have my parents at 91 years old in their own home. And they've always shared and told me how loved I am from the time I was a little child, even yesterday. So I'm just so
isn't that
blessed.
so amazing?
I'm just so blessed.
How important it is to let each other know you are loved. Oh, thank you. So this is Sandy,
Hello.
and I was talking about how, like sometimes you just want to sing unrestrained.
Can't help it.
And she said,
Can't help it. I love to sing. And singing with you tonight was wonderful.
oh, thank you. What was the one thing that you took away from tonight?
Just your joy, the joy in the journey, and remembering that we're going through a lot ourselves. And failure is not an option for many of us. But accepting that in ourselves, I think, is important. To being able to realize that it's not the end. We can always try again. And
Yes.
God gives us that unlimited time to try
Yeah,
again.
it's interesting you say joy, because I did talk a lot about some hard
Hard
stuff.
things. But I heard the joy.
I know.
I
That's
heard the
so
joy.
cool, because in the hardest pain and in the core of all that pain and struggle, there is joy.
Yes.
There is joy.
And being a mom and being,
Yes.
fighting for every step of the way. You're still in the joy of the moment.
Yes.
Thank
So good.